Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving into a story that's part legal thriller and part tech revolution, and it's happening right now. Just a year ago, the music industry basically declared war on AI. But now, in a move nobody saw coming, they've signed a truce. And believe me, this is way more than just a business deal. It's a potential blueprint for the entire future of music.
For the last year, it's really felt like a classic David versus Goliath fight. You had the entire music industry on one side and these AI song generators like Udio and Suno on the other. The accusation was huge, mass copyright infringement. But then, just when things were really heating up, a truce was called. So, how on earth did we get here?
This wasn't some long, drawn-out negotiation. No, this was a lightning-fast pivot. We're talking about going from sworn enemies in a courtroom to strategic partners almost overnight. The timeline of this whole thing really tells a fascinating story. Okay, let's dive into this.
Just look at how fast this all happened. In the summer of 2024, Universal Music Group is hitting Udio with a massive lawsuit. Fast forward to September of the next year, and they're doubling down, accusing them of scraping YouTube. And then bam, just 1 month later, they're announcing a partnership. This whiplash-inducing shift from all-out legal war to a business deal is exactly what makes this whole thing so significant. So you're probably wondering, what's actually in this agreement? Well, it's way more than just a handshake to end a lawsuit. What we're looking at here is essentially the ground floor of a new, industry-approved AI music world.
The whole deal basically unfolds in 3 acts. Act 1, settle the past. Udio pays up for any past copyright issues. Simple enough. Act 2, license the present. Suddenly, Udio gets the keys to the kingdom, legal access to UMG's entire catalog. And then there's Act 3, build the future. They're going to work together on a brand new AI music platform, slated for 2026. It's a clean sweep that completely changes the game. Now, the tech that makes this whole thing possible is something called fingerprinting. The easiest way to think about it is like YouTube's Content ID, but for AI music creation. It's like a digital watermark that can spot copyrighted material. So in theory, if the AI generates a song that sounds a little too much like, say, a Drake track, this system flags it, and Drake and his label get paid. That's the idea anyway. The big question is, can it really work accurately? So with Udio now on the inside with UMG, the whole AI music map has been completely redrawn. And if you're their biggest competitor, Suno, well, that new map is starting to look like very hostile territory. They're now pretty much the lone wolf in a fight against the entire music industry.
In this slide just lays it all out in black and white. Udio is now an industry insider. They get to train their AI on a clean, fully licensed dataset from UMG. Suno, they're still the outsider, facing down a monster lawsuit all by themselves. It's like a high-stakes game of musical chairs, and right now, Suno is the one left without a seat.
Okay, so this brings us to the most important question in all of this. What does this deal mean for the actual people who make the music? We've got the corporation and the tech companies shaking hands, but is this a good thing for artists?
Publicly, UMG is spinning this as a massive win for creators. You hear their CEO, Sir Lucian Grange, talking about building a healthy commercial AI ecosystem that benefits artists. But you have to ask, right? Is this real, or is it just some very, very good PR?
Because artist advocates are, let's say, deeply skeptical. Tom Gray from the Ivers Academy puts it pretty bluntly. He says it looks like the labels are on the make, implying this is much more about corporate profit than it is about fairness for creators. And when you look at the concerns from the artist community, you can see why they're worried. There's no talk about an opt-in or opt-out system for artists who don't want their music used to train an AI. Songwriters were completely left out of the negotiations. And for a lot of people, this whole thing feels eerily familiar. A lot like the early days of Spotify, where the labels made a fortune and artists were left with fractions of a penny. And the stakes here are just massive. One prediction suggests that generative AI could cost music creators something like $22 billion in lost income over the next 5 years. This isn't just about creative control anymore. For many, it's about pure economic survival. So this deal doesn't end the conversation about AI and music. Not even close. In fact, it kicks off a brand new, even more complicated one. The road ahead isn't really defined by what's in this agreement, but by everything that it leaves out. The entire future of music really boils down to the answers to these 5 questions. Can that fingerprinting tech actually work when styles get subtle? How in the world do you even calculate what a royalty should be for AI training? And here's the billion-dollar question. If the labels own a piece of these AI companies, will the artist whose work built them ever see a single dime of that? As that line between a business partner and an exploited asset gets blurrier and blurrier, that final question is the one every single musician and songwriter should be asking. Their work, their art, is the raw material building this entire new technology, but will they be treated like partners in this new world, or just fuel for the machine?